Hey guys, welcome back. This segment we're going to talk about how to be accountable. Purpose of accountability is to basically make sure that you're able to follow the program and actually finish it through. So this is where you're accountable for your workouts, accountable for your eating habits, and accountable for following steps.
Yeah, definitely. Can you talk a little bit more about that? I know like you're like super big on accountability yourself, and some people don't understand that because it's not directly related to working out.
Right.
Why is it so important exactly?
Well, it's so important because you got to make sure there's something that's going to keep you going, something that's going to keep you working out and keep you taking action every day. An analogy, or basically an example, would be if I was there standing next to you and I can actually put you through the entire program, the entire course, and be with you, next to you, every step of the way, there's no doubt in my mind that you would go ahead and finish. But because I can't, the accountability system is set up. Because if I was there with you, there will be certain things that I'm going to have you do throughout the program, from the beginning, and certain things to do along the way, and certain things to do at the end. So instead of me being there, I'm going to go ahead and tell you those exact things I'm going to have you do. So this way you can go ahead and do those things along the way, and it'll just be as if I was there to help you out. So this way we can make sure that you get the results, that you finish the program, and you learn everything that there is to learn about getting a six-pack and getting lean.
Yeah, and I think when you're training people, that's one of the biggest things you offer to your clients is that
Right.
You can actually like be there with them and make sure they do exactly what they're supposed to do. And I think the great part about this accountability system is that it kind of it like reproduces that effect for the guys watching this right now, that if they follow this stuff, it will be pretty much like you're training them and you're like keeping them accountable yourself.
Exactly. Everybody that I've come in contact with, that I've trained, have gotten results. There was no doubt about it. Sometimes it's a little bit different, but when I had them go ahead and do the things that kept them accountable, there was no obstacles in their way. I mean, they went ahead and overcame everything.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the accountability system which you've set up. What are the elements of this system?
Well, there's 4 different elements. Element 1 is basically a vision board. And a vision board is basically a board that you go ahead and have your goals on it, particularly visual goals. But we'll go into that a little bit more. But vision board is number 1. Number 2 is before and after pictures. Those are very, very important. That actually really shows you, what you used to look like and then what you look like now. And there's a lot of different benefits from it. Number 3 is goal setting. Making sure that you have a clear goal and that it is very, very measurable. That means it can't be something as too general or too uncertain. Everything has to be very specific. So those are the things that you need to do right from the beginning to make sure that you're following the steps to being accountable for yourself.
Okay, great. So let's go into it. Let's talk about the vision board. This is something which I know you're personally really passionate about, which you said has really changed your own life.
Right.
What is a vision board and why is that so important?
A vision board is very simple. It's nothing complicated. All it is basically a piece of paper or maybe a poster board, and you're going to go ahead and put exactly the way you want to look on that vision board, pictures. And so the steps are doing that. Well, let's back up a little bit. So you're going to put pictures on there of the way you want to look. You're going to go ahead and also have goals written out on the vision board. And the reason why I do that, the reason why the vision board is so important and that I am hands down, totally a believer on that, this is one of the main things that's going to make sure you finish this program, is because every time when you look at the vision board, you generate a thought. Every time you look at something, your brain tells you something. If you see like let's say if you see a book, automatically you're thinking, well, that's a book you can read or something like that. If you see let's say money, you're thinking, I want that, or there's always a thought. If you see food, you're like, that tastes good. I mean, there's always a thought that derives from visual things that come through your mind. So when you see the vision board, if you have your goals on the board, it will always constantly remind you and always constantly keep you on track, because this way you can see exactly where you're going and what the end result is going to be. That's how you make it happen.
Yeah, I think kind of a good analogy to describe that is, if you're going on a vacation and you just had a vague idea of, I want to go someplace warm, then you probably never get there because it's so vague that you can't even, begin to get there. But if you know, like, I want to go to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, now you can start driving. And, of course, if you just sit at home and you don't do anything, then you're never going to get there. But if you combine that with the action, then it can be very powerful.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect example. You go on vacation somewhere and stuff. You have to go ahead and set out the goal that where you want to be. I'll show you the way. But I can't show you where you need to go if you don't know where to go. So this is all about you deciding exactly where you need to go, or deciding exactly the way you want to look, the body you want to have, and I'll show you the steps to get there.
Definitely. So about the physiques of the guys which go on the vision board, one thing you emphasized to me is that it needs to be very precise as to the exact physique which you want yourself. Why is that? Why is that so important?
Very, very important, because when you go ahead and make sure you really, really find pictures that represent the way you want to look, it'll give you the best idea, and it'll keep reminding you of the actual correct result that you want to have, the correct goal. Because let's say when you close your eyes, you should be able to, at this point, be able to visualize exactly the way you want your abs to look, how defined you want it to be, the way your chest looks, the way your arms, and just your whole appearance, your dream body, the way you want to look. But once you have that visualized, if you find a picture that doesn't represent exactly down to the detail of the way you want to look, well, then that picture isn't really relevant. It's like, for example, on a extreme case, you want to, have a six-pack abs, you want to be very lean, have a nice, beach body physique, but you put a picture of a guy that's kind of skinny, that has a six-pack, but no definition, no arm muscles and chest muscles, and every time you look at the picture, you're like, well, that's not the way I want to look. So it's irrelevant. Or if you put a big old bodybuilder guy, one of those Mr. Olympia guys on TV, and he has six-pack abs along with monstrous muscles everywhere. You look at it, you're like, well, that's not the way I vision myself. So then the vision board loses its power, it loses its effectiveness. So it has to be very, very, very close as can be, to the way you want to look. That's how it affects you the most, and that's what makes the vision board very powerful.
Great. Okay, so I think that's a great start. First step of the accountability system. Let's talk about the second piece of the accountability system, the before and after pictures. Can you talk about why it's so important to take a before and an after picture?
It allows you to basically see your results visually, because when you can see your before picture and then you look into your mirror, you can actually start to notice the little details, because there's going to be changes along the way. And you want to make sure that if you know exactly where you came from and how you used to look, then every single little step of the way, every single little progress, is like a celebration. Like the first inch you're gonna lose on your waistline, you're gonna be like, hell yeah, this feels good. When you see that, you start seeing some lines in your arms, and when you look at your before picture, you didn't notice it. You're like, whoa, man, this is different. I'm starting to see a change. But see, a lot of guys, if they aren't very in tune with the way they look, it's really hard for you to remember, hey, was this there before, or I just didn't notice it. With a before picture, you can always have something to go reference back to. But that's only part of why you need to do a before and after picture. Another part, and I think one that's really cool and it really kind of boosts them up, is you ever have a guy approach you and let's say you look at him and he looks okay, not in killer shape, but he looks average, right? So you look at this guy, you're like, he's an average guy. But when you start talking, he tells you, hey, Dan, I lost 70 pounds. You're like, really? And they go, yeah, look. They reach into their wallet, and what do? Pull out some picture or probably their driver's license or something, go, take a look, and you're like, whoa, And suddenly, this guy that looks average is like a hero. He's a superstar. He's awesome. He dropped 70 pounds. He's made a big change in his life. And now, when you see this guy, you see him in a different light. He's this guy that made this big change in his life. He's this guy that knew what he wanted. He accomplished his goal. He may have the dream body of his dreams, because he was able to make that big change. But all that wouldn't have been there if he didn't have some type of before reference. And even if he can explain it to you, I lost this and that, it's more powerful when you see it in person.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, if you accomplish your goal, if you go through this whole thing and you get six-pack abs, then you deserve that. You deserve to have people, looking up to you and asking you questions about how to get in shape, because, you did it. So, yeah, you should take pride in that.
Definitely.
One other thing I wanted to say about the before and after pictures is probably the biggest value for me was that once I got in shape, sometimes my mind would begin to drift into thinking, that was just the way I naturally looked. Especially when you've maintained it for a while. Sometimes the link between the working out and the way you look isn't all that clear in your mind, so you start to like slack off a little bit. But I can remember this, the before picture, which really helped me the most is this one where, I'm wearing this wife beater and you can see my arms, and my arms were like extremely small. They look like girls' arms, to be honest. So I look at that, and that really motivates me because I know it connects my positive behavior with the results I'm getting, and I know that if I stop doing it, then I'm not going to get the results. And I know that if I keep doing it, I'm going to get even more results.
Definitely. When you're taking your before picture, really simple. You want to get a front view, you want to get a side view, and you want to get a back view. So one key thing is you probably want to do it without your shirt. The reason why is because when you have your shirt on, even though you can still see a big difference later on, but if you really want to get to the details and you really want to see exactly down to the shape of your body, the shape of your stomach, if you have rolls or if you just have a little bit of fat hanging, you want to be able to see all those before details, because every single detail, every single change is an accomplishment, is a boost in your confidence, is a little message telling you, yeah, you know what, I got rid of that part too. I got rid of that part too. I changed this, 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 and this. It's not just I just overall changed. No, you did the specific changes that you wanted, and that's more powerful than anything else. So I definitely recommend having your shirt off when you're doing the before pictures. Now, for you guys, if it doesn't feel comfortable and then still leave your shirt on, but I would say, just do it because it's going to be worth it at the end. When you get the body that you want and you didn't take that, very detailed picture without your shirt, you're going to be like, dang, if only they knew exactly how I looked, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So I took a lot of ones before.
And I mean, I know that that it can be a little bit of a harrowing experience, especially if you're not too proud of the way you look right now, to like take pictures of yourself and upload them. But I mean, I really promise you that once you've gone through this whole thing and you've transformed your body, then you're really going to want to have it. Yeah,
so the next step I want you to do is please upload them to the form on this page. The reason why is because it kind of ties into what I wanted when I first started this program, when I first created this course. I want to be able to reach out to as many people as possible and to be able to change as many people's lives. Get people to get the body that they want, to build a lean physique and have this balanced, positive life. And one of the things I found that really made a very big result is when I was able to see before pictures and after pictures, testimonials, things like that of a real life person telling me, hey Mike, thanks for the tips, thanks for the program, it really helped, it changed my life in this way, here's some pictures to show. And it's very rewarding, and that was one of the main reasons why I started this program. So if you can, please upload them on the form on this page, because that's rewarding for me, and I'll love to see your story. I love to see the transformation that you went through. And if you want to go ahead and upload it, but you don't want me to put it out anywhere, hey, no problem. I understand and I respect your privacy. Just write a little note on there, or just let me know. If you don't mind, I like to probably show some of the before and after pictures to future people who want to take this course, and let you be an inspiration for others. And I think it's rewarding for myself, but I think it may be rewarding for you to know that you can actually now make a positive difference for other people.
Definitely, yeah. Okay, so let's talk about another piece of this accountability system, goal setting. Why is goal setting so important, and how should guys go about setting a good goal?
Goal setting is important because it lets you know that you have accomplished it. Goal setting is important because if you don't have a goal, you don't have that destination, that you're just kind of walking. You're just kind of doing things without a real solid purpose in mind. And so the way you set your goal is you need to have very defined and very specific goal. Something I run into all the time, Dan, is guys approach me. They're like, hey Mike, I want to be, I want to get in shape. How should I do it? I'm like, well, I don't even know where to start. In shape. I'll go, well, tell me a little bit more. And they're like, well, I just want to, be healthy and a flat stomach and And I'm like, okay, well, it's getting a little better, but I need more. I need more specifics. I need more details, because if not, then I'll just kind of, picture what I think, the guy should look like or something, and just put him through those workouts. So you have to get very, very defined with your goals. So if you go, let's say, I want six-pack abs. That is actually not a very good goal because you can't measure it. You can't really visualize it. Six-pack abs can be different with everybody, when you really think about it. A good goal would be, let's say, I want six-pack abs to where there's a definition in the middle of the abs running down, and every single ab seems like it was chiseled out of a comic book or something. And I want the shape of the waistline to come flat down without any type of bulges on the side, something like that. And I want lines in my this getting very detailed, but something like that. So this way you can really, really visualize exactly the way it looks, and you'll be able to know when you look in the mirror that you've gotten there, that you accomplished it, because it's so detailed. So that's the most important thing about goal setting. I think another part we're going to talk about next is, I think, being measurable.
Definitely. So how can a guy make a goal measurable? Exactly what does that mean?
Well, measurable basically means now that you visualize your goal, now that you wrote it down on the vision board and all that's set up, you have to be able to track that you're on the right road. You're having the progress that you expect, that you should have.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to measure your goal. There's a lot of ways to do it, but the simplest way that I had all my clients do it is, if your goal is to get six-pack abs, your goal is to get the lean physique that you want. Easiest way to do it is to go ahead and measure your waistline, because your waistline has to decrease in order for your ab definition to come out. So when it comes to measuring a waistline, it's pretty simple. All you do is take a measuring tape, and I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate how it works. I'm going to use Dan as the model. So basically, why don't you go ahead and face me a little bit, Dan? Okay.
Like right here?
Yeah, about right here so the camera can see. Okay, so lift up your shirt just a little bit. All right, so the way you do this, guys, is you take the measuring tape, you wrap it around. Now, this is if somebody was going to measure for you, but if you did it yourself, you would stand in front of the mirror and do exactly the same. You want to make sure that you're going to measure the circumference around your belly button, or basically exactly around your belly button. And also, you want to make sure that you're not sucking in. So, Dan, why don't you... All right. Dan, go ahead and put your shirt down, and I want you to drop your shoulders down, because this is a very important technique. There you go. Put your shoulders down, relax, okay? So now, once he's relaxed, and okay, so 31.25. So that's how you go ahead and measure. Now, if you're measuring by yourself, you would stand in front of a mirror and you would do the same thing. You would just go like this, look in the mirror, and you'll go ahead and measure and make sure you're relaxed, okay? Because there's no point in cheating yourself. So once you do that, you have the circumference, the waist measurements of what it looks like right in the beginning, okay, where you're at. You need to measure every single week. The reason why is because we want to make sure that your workouts and your eating habits and the nutrition that you're doing is effective. Because remember what we talked about before, if the workout or the things you're doing aren't effective, then it's not working. You're not doing something right. And we want to make sure we find out right in the beginning. So week by week, you're going to go ahead and do a quick measurement. And keep in mind though, the measurements will your body will kind of go through different phases. Phase one, if your waistline doesn't really get smaller, it's no big deal. Don't panic. It's because your body may gain a little bit of weight because you're putting on that extra muscle and building your metabolism. But you want to make sure that when you get to phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4, your waistline is rapidly shrinking. So if you can lose anywhere from about 2 to 3 inches every single month or every single 4 weeks, you're doing a very good job. If it's a little less, that means you're still getting progress, of course, but there may be a couple of changes you need to make. Most likely going to be in your diet. It's going to be in your foods. You want to lower your calories a little bit. So make sure, now if you're not getting results at all, then it goes back to being effective. Then you definitely have to look at your workouts. You have to look at your eating habits and definitely getting the right amount of sleep. Okay, if you don't get the sleep in, you won't get the results. So that's what we have to do when it comes to measuring. Very, very important as part of the goal setting.
Yeah. And I think, that's really good because the weekly measurements allow them to get such constant feedback on where they're at. And if something's going wrong, then they're never going to go more than a week before it's corrected. They won't go like weeks and weeks at a time before it's, before it's even realized.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's it for the accountability video. Go there now and upload your before picture and your vision board using the forms on this page.